you did forbid me from mentioning injuries in the context of this game because Spurs have so many. But just to challenge you a little, for the sake of the argument, is it any sort of an excuse or mitigation that those habits, which I presume as a professional footballer and a professional football team, you build up over time with colleagues, have been prevented from being learnt because he's not able to put the same 11 out 2 weeks running. He has had issues around the team, and so they haven't developed those patterns, those habits that you talk about.
But the patterns that are developed in a football team are developed with the squad, not just with the team. And I accept that when you play on a Saturday together, that you work obviously. The more you play together, the more you obviously understand each other. But the patterns are developed on the training pitch with the squad. So the patterns aren't just given to the first 11 and then the rest of them have to try and work them out. And the fact that obviously they've lost Maguire, they've lost Lindelof, they've lost Alessandro Martinez and Casemiro, it does impact Manchester United because they've lost some sort of experience there and some, particularly Martinez, he's good at playing out from the back. But like I say, if Tottenham have 5 or 6 of their best players missing, their whole midfield's missing today. But Højbjerg and Skip still play and try the same patterns, not as successfully and effectively as Bissouma and Sarr, but they still try and do the same things. Obviously, Porro and Udogie were the first choice left and right back, but even when Ben Davies and Emerson Royal have been centre backs, they still try and do the same things. It may not be as effective, it may not be as successful because they're not as good a players as the players that they've replaced, but you still see them trying to do the same things. Whereas so I don't think it's an excuse that you can say that Manchester United have got 4 or 5 players out. You can see that maybe the results might suffer a little bit. You can see that they might not do the things that they want to do as well. But I don't see any pattern either with the first choice players or without the first choice players. And that's a real concern, and that has to change. We need to see a Manchester United style of play develop in this next few months. Or else I think the coach will be vulnerable because of the fact that ultimately the new owner will come in and look at it and think, I want to see how we're going to play. I want electricity in this stadium. I want razzmatazz. I want, Jamie Carragher called it, what did he say? Box office. Manchester United historically have been box office. Spurs are box office. I love watching Spurs play football. Manchester United are a hard watch. But they've got some exciting, talented players. It just needs to somehow gel in this next few months, and I hope it can gel for Erik ten Hag.